welcome back to another episode of this podcast. This is Gerardo Gonzalez for the Spear. In this episode of the podcast, I'll be discussing this recent game from that San Jose State men's soccer just played against UC Davis this past Wednesday. San Jose State played UC Davis on the road, and they came out with the win. A big time win on the road with the score 3-2. It was a great first half, that San Jose State. It was a great first half for the Spartans, in which they were efficient in the final thirds, something that Coach Simon Tobin had previously mentioned in the post-game interview, the previous game for St. Mary's, in which he mentioned that there wasn't enough efficiency in the final thirds and as well as defending it. But in this case, in this game, San Jose State were able to find that efficiency in the final third as they were up 3-0 by the half. So it was a great first half that the Spartans played, and I believe that this is the best team performance that I have seen them play so far this season, especially in the first half of the game. It was something that we never really seen before, and I'm really glad that this happened, and in this game especially, because being on the road against UC Davis is not easy. So I'm glad that San Jose State were able to find themselves and find that efficiency in the final third as they were up 3-0 at halftime. UC Davis were able to score 2 goals in the second half as they seemed to put pressure on San Jose State and make sure that they could catch up and see if they could get that tie at the end of the game. But San Jose State were able to hold off and secure that victory, 3-2. UC Davis played much better second half, and San Jose State, as it seemed like they were up 3-0, they seemed to relax throughout the second half, and it seemed like they were attacking as much, and that's when UC Davis found the openings and were able to push forward and put pressure on San Jose State, and they were able to score 2 goals in the second half. And really the last 10 minutes of the game, UC Davis came close. UC Davis came close to tying the game, but time ran out, and San Jose State were able to finish off the game and get that victory. When you end games like this, very close, very tight till the very end, that really helps you out a lot, especially when it forces the team to show grit, show unity. It helps out for a lot of games coming up throughout the season, because now the team knows how to be in tough situations. The team knows how to be in tough situations now. So whenever they have other games that are close like this, they'll think back and they'll know, like, okay, we know what we need to do now. If we're ever in this situation, we know what we need to do in order to finish off these games and make sure that, they don't let games like this escape them. Let's take a look at UC Davis though. All season long, they have not had a victory. They have a record of 0 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw. So it's obvious that they're struggling, and it's not the UC Davis that we usually know of previous seasons. The Aggies are in a tough conference, and they have played teams like Oregon State, Stanford, and St. Mary's, and San Diego, which are all very good teams. 2 of those teams being ranked in the top 5 in Oregon State and Stanford. So when we look at the schedule that UC Davis has had, it's a tough schedule, and it kind of makes sense, kind of reflects on the record in which they have no wins so far this season. I don't want to take away anything from San Jose State. It is something to think about, that beating up a team that hasn't had a victory. It's something to just keep in mind, but I don't want to take no credit away from San Jose State. They played very good, and they were able to get the win, which is the very most important thing at the end of the day. When it comes to these soccer matches, getting that victory at the end of the day, getting those 3 points, especially on the road, which is very tough to do, and not many teams could do that. Many teams struggle to do that. Let's take a look at what San Jose State head coach Simon Tobin said after the game.
Great win tonight, especially on the road. A good 3-0 half-time lead, but we knew that the game was far from over. And a great performance by Davis in the second half, coming back to 3-2. But We had to dig deep and fight a little bit today, which is not always our strongest point, so I'm really proud of the win. Always a tough place to play, and I feel Davis will do pretty well in the Big West, very athletic and strong. So for us, it was one of our biggest wins of the season, and we hope to build off this.
And a couple key highlights that I wanted to discuss about San Jose State are 3 players. Julian Garcia, which he scored his 3rd goal of the season. I said in this past episode, I believe that he's a key player and is going to be a key player going forward, and a key player to watch, and how his input is received by the team. I think he's going to be a very important piece to the team, and he moves well on and off the ball. He could score goals, he could assist, and I believe that he's going to be a very good component to the team. I do expect more from the forwards, of course, and the midfielders. I hope to see him score goals as well. But if Julian Garcia is able to keep racking up these goals, I'm all for it, and hopefully he continues his good form. We also had 2 first-time goal scorers in this game against UC Davis for San Jose State. Bo LaRue and Ricardo Scarafia were able to get on the score sheet as well, and they were able to celebrate their first goals of the season with the win, which is also a very good thing and a bonus for them. So congrats on Bo LaRue and Ricardo Scarafia. San Jose State's next game is against University of Pacific, EOP, from Stockton, at home in the Spartan Complex, next Thursday, September 22nd at 7 p.m. I believe this win will surely help them for what's to come. I hope to see head coach Simon Tobin use a similar starting 11 so that the team could get a good rhythm, because I believe that that's how team identity develops throughout the season, and they're able to get that chemistry flowing between one player and another, between defense, midfield, and attacking forwards. UOP, University of Pacific, plays UC Davis 2 days before they play San Jose State next week. So that'll be a tough game for UOP, as it will physically not be 100%. So I do believe that's going to be an advantage that San Jose State will have. University of Pacific also just has 1 win. This will be a great opportunity for San Jose State to capitalize and get a win against University of Pacific at home before they start their first conference game against Houston Baptist. So with this recent victory, San Jose State now has a record of 2 wins, 1 draw, and 3 losses. We hope to see San Jose State keep up the good form that they recently showed against UC Davis on the road as they face University of Pacific next week at the Spartan Complex. I hope to get another victory and get that good chemistry and good dynamic flowing for the team before they head to the first conference game against Houston Baptist. Thank you guys for watching this episode, and I'll catch you guys next time. This is Gerardo Gonzalez, the Spear.